Today I'm going to show you how to create an organic type growth effect like this one here, you can see right there. Very easily in Photoshop, just with a very simple action that you can create. I just found this technique out. I just found out about this technique yesterday while on work thinking about a problem. Came up with this solution, but it didn't really help me in the end, so I thought I'd just share it for you guys to enjoy and experiment with. So you can also create stuff like this very easily, and you could also just use it, vectorize it, and then maybe use it in an illustration or an artwork or whatever you want to do with it. So let's get started. So you'll want to create a new document. Just make it something reasonable. This technique does require some CPU power. So for a nice working result, you should, or just for testing, you should probably just stick with something not too large. So something around 1000 times 1000 pixel works fine for me. The format really does not matter. Grayscale is enough, but if you want to change it up later, maybe with some colors, then just use RGB. It really does not matter what color. So create it, and the first thing you'll need is some kind of actually you don't need anything, but just to have some visual reference for what you're doing, you'll just have to make something black on your white canvas. So in this case, maybe a dot or two is more than enough. Then you'll need to create your action. If your action tab isn't open, then just go to Windows and click on your action button, or just hit Alt F9 apparently, and create your action. So name it however you want. I already have one there, so I'll just call it growth 2. Right. So then you'll just it needs to be in one layer, so don't make any new layers. And then you just grab your high pass filter. Make it something reasonable. So the radius, the white radius you'll see here, is the growth extension that you'll be getting. You'll see later what I'm talking about exactly. It's kind of hard to visualize if you don't know how it looks while it's working. So I think something like this will work fine. So 12.5 with me, but it will be a little bit different if you choose another pixel sizes or if you have other dot sizes. So just hit OK. The next step would be to go to Images, Adjustments, and then to Threshold. Then you'll get this nice black and white result. That's fine. Hit OK. And the final step will be to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Or actually, other blurs might work fine as well. You can just try it and experiment with it. But I'll just be using Gaussian Blur for now. Again, something reasonable, so if it's too small, the effect won't really work. If it's too large, the effect won't really work. Something where you can still see the shapes that you're trying to grow out. Something like this will work fine with my size. Okay, and then you're done. So now, if you've got that, just hit the stop button. And now you can reset your canvas to actually create the thing you want to grow out. So just whatever you want, really. I'll just make a nice large X right here. And you don't really need to do this, but it's a really cool technique. If you have something that's on its own layer, you can click Control and hit on the layer, click the layer, and you'll get the selection, the pixel selection around that layer there, right there. So now you'll just merge your two layers together, and then just click on your action that you've created, hit on the play button a couple of times, and you'll start to see this growing effect right here. And if you're happy with the look that you're receiving, but you want the outline to be a little bit more organic as well, you can just get rid of your selection by hitting Ctrl or Command D, hitting the action button a couple more times. And if you're happy with this or how it looks at this point, then you can sharpen your image just by hitting Ctrl Command L to get your levels up. Adjust your levels to your liking. Of course, you don't have to make it sharp, but I think it looks pretty neat like this. So something like this will work fine. Yeah, and then you've got your results. So now you can get a selection from the black pixels just by using your magic wand tool, for example, or any other technique that you know of to get a selection out of your image, and then just make a work path, and there you go. Or you can hit and just throw it in Illustrator, whatever you prefer, right? So you can do that. So now you've got yourself a really cool asset that you can work with and play with. You can also do this with other things, such as let's get something up here. Sorry, just a moment. Like a nice skull that I've got of Pixabay. So if you've got this, same procedure, just make the background white, merge the two together, get the selection beforehand of your object that you're trying to grow together, merge them by hitting Ctrl or Command E, and then just applying this action a couple of times. And as you can see, this image is a little bit larger, so it'll take my PC a little bit longer. But you'll start to see this grow pattern, this organic growth pattern. After some time. If the image is smaller, it'll of course take less resources, and it will go a lot faster. So either way, just be patient or just make a smaller document, and you'll get different results with different pixel sizes and with different values for your filters. So just experiment around with it, and you can come up with something cool and crazy, I suppose. Yeah, something like this. It looks kind of cool, actually. You can also invert it. Give it a nice edge. There you go. So just play around with it, have fun. Thank you and good night.